right, we're back, everybody. Shalom again. We're going to be dealing with, excuse me, we're going to be dealing with iniquity. Basically, that's going to be the basis of it. Your iniquity separates you from Yahuwah. And that's what we're going to be dealing with. We're going to come from Isaiah chapter 59, and we're going to kind of touch on a few more verses outside of that. But the basis of this study is to show that most of the time people think like the basic statement is like Yah has forsaken them, or the Most High has turned his back on them, but the Most High doesn't turn his back on anyone. He's always reaching out for someone to come to him. But the deal is our sin and our iniquities, things that we do wrong, our transgressions, it causes us to back away from the Most High because it gives us a guilty conscience. So the Most High actually doesn't continually reach out at that particular point in time when you're operating in sin. He reaches out for you to come in, but he's not trying to cover you in your sin. There's a grace that he has for you, but grace is something that, I think Yah, I don't want to live a life that's constantly totally dependent upon grace. I want to make sure that I'm at least walking upright before the Most High, where if I need grace, grace is there, but I don't want to live a life based upon Yah will forgive me and I'm going to do it anyway and just not repent. Repent means to turn from your wicked ways and not continue to do the same thing. And so this is why most people feel that separation from the Most High is because of iniquity. And so we're going to get into Isaiah chapter 59, and we're going to read that first verse.
Isaiah 59, verse 1. Behold, Yahuwah's hand is not shortened that it cannot save, neither his ear heavy that it cannot hear.
So it says hand is not shortened that it cannot save. The thing is, you're still doing stuff, and the Most High had grabbed you because you're still doing the iniquity and the sin that caused you to separate from it. A lot of people have been taught back in the days, just, sinners are praying. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with praying, but if you're living wrong, it's going to be hard for those prayers to penetrate. Because I wrote down here, John 9:31, where it talks about Yahuwah hears not sinners, but the worshipers of Yah that do his will. Those are the ones he hears. When we say hear, of course he can hear what's going on, but he doesn't take heed to it. Basically, he doesn't actually respond based upon just because you start crying and your tears are what we would call crocodile tears. You're crying because you got caught in the act, or you got caught with what's happening, something bad happened to you because you were operating in sin. So now you're feeling bad, but it's not bad enough to turn. You have to feel bad enough to say, look, I'm done with this. I don't want to do it no more. I repent, and I don't want to continue living this way. When you do that, then you'll see how the Most High begin to operate in your life. So let's go to
Isaiah 59:2. But your iniquities have separated between you and your Elohim, and your sins have hid his face from you, that he will not hear.
Okay, so basically, I want to teach on this a little bit. Like I wrote down iniquity, and basically, people that don't know this, this is basic, pretty much, the word of Yah 101 when it comes to how you should carry yourself. But for those that don't know, iniquity, is wickedness, the act of being wicked, wicked things that you're involved in, immoral things. It's grossly unfair behavior to bend or to twist or to distort Yahuwah's word or his law, basically causes you to separate from Yah. And so if you're operating like this, then it causes a separation. We can't just live life by chance, just hoping that, we flip a coin, heads or tails, and Yah gonna help us. Like, you don't have to operate like that. If you just put away the wickedness from you, then the Most High will take heed to what you're saying. This is why the prayer starts out, let thy will be done. You know what I'm saying? So his will needs to be done. You know what I'm saying? And as it is in Shamanim, so it is here, let your will be done. So if you're praying anything different, you're praying like James say, you're praying and he's not answering prayer because you pray amiss. You're praying because of your own selfish longings. Like you're praying for this individual that you love because what's going on with them, but you don't want to get in position with the Most High so he can hear you, so that you can actually pray the prayer that he touched their heart so that they would turn from their wicked ways. It's like we just think the Most High is like some genie in a bottle or something like that, where just because you're in a rut or you're in a bad situation that he's supposed to just come through and answer you just because you're crying and because you're let down or your loved one is sick. Well, if that's the case, then how important are they to you? Are they important enough for you to line up with the Most High and turn away from your wicked ways so that you can seek the Most High, that he may answer those prayers? And the only way he's going to answer those prayers is that you line up. Like you have to be a worshiper that does his will. You have to be someone that actually esteems the Most High. You have to lift the Most High up in all areas. Everything that's going on has to be concerning, or it has to be about the Most High, I would say. It has to be you being about the Most High's business constantly. It's like we can't live life no more just saying, okay, look, there's no time off, basically. There's no breaks. There's no time off. You have to know that when you inside the home, when you walk out the door, when you're dealing with the internet, anything you're doing, that you have to keep the Most High in mind, because it's always some wickedness waiting to keep you, put you in some type of snap. The enemy is always trying to set a trap out. That's why I said we're not ignorant to his devices, because he has so much stuff going on now in this day and time. It's a lot of things. It was easier before all the propaganda and all this internet and everything happened. You know, now it got to a point where it's easier for those that knew that time, but for this new generation, they don't know that time. All they know is what they've been presented, what's been presented to them, basically. All they know is the new age, the internet, TikTok and Facebook and whatever else they're on, Instagram. This stuff is ruining, because this stuff keeps them in I would say, in a zone, in an alternate reality. It's like they're not even, it's not even reality. It's like they're in a metaverse constantly, because their life is being lived through this particular thing. It's like you're living life through posting comments and through, it's like this is their whole life, getting mad because somebody didn't like their picture. Why am I not involved in this particular situation? Like, and it's all based upon social media, to the point where that's beginning to be your livelihood. And it's beginning to put you in a position where you can't function mentally without it. It'll cause depression and everything. I was looking at research on it. It'll cause you to, you know, it begins to be emotionally attached to you, to the point where it begins to be a part of you. So when you don't have it, you feel like starved or something, like you're not getting that fix that you're supposed to get, because you can't be a part of it, because it's not operating the way you want it to operate. Somebody said something contrary to what you did, or didn't agree with you, and now y'all arguing, going back and forth. It's real life. People are dying because of it and everything. And I'm just saying, just using this to show you that this thing causes iniquity too, you know, causes people to operate in iniquity, you know what I'm saying, cause people to operate in vanity. I mean, like when you're dealing with this stuff, they're taking all these pictures and stuff, and it's vain, most of it. And you're saying, you know, it's like not really to pick out genders. I mean, whether it be male or female, if you're sitting there taking like a ton of pictures and you're not like a model or something and trying to put your workout, like, or whatever you're doing, you know, and that needs to be done decent in order. I mean, it's like, why are you taking all these pictures constantly, every day, all day? Every step you take, you put on 2 or 3 different outfits a day, you're changing, taking different pictures. What is this about? It shows that that's your world. That's the world you live in. You just being yourself, because they have made you adapt to this particular form of metaverse, in a sense. Like, it's your whole different lifestyle. It's not even real. It's a false reality. And you're operating in it, and it's causing you to sin most of the time, because it causes like arguments and backlash. It causes you to backbite and to tear each other down, because there's a disagreement. It causes discord. And this we have to look at. These are the things we have to be careful concerning. Did we do 2 yet?
No. Yeah,
Okay, yeah, we just did 2. So let's go to James chapter 4, verse 7 to 8.
James chapter 4, verse 7. Submit yourself, therefore, to Yahuwah. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Draw nigh to Yahuwah, and he will draw nigh to you. Cleanse your hands, ye sinners, and purify your hearts, ye double-minded. Okay, so basically, that's the process it takes to get away from iniquity. Get away from iniquity means that you have to submit yourself unto Yah. Submit your mind, submit your ways, your thoughts, your way of life has to be submitted unto Yah, like your whole being. You have to do Romans 12:1, present your body as a living sacrifice unto Yah. That's what you have to do in order to get away from iniquity. And that's the thing. Once you've done that, it tells you to resist the devil and he will flee. If you resist him, you have to resist means to resist. It means there's going to be a struggle. That's going to be a fight. That's why the scripture begins to declare that we wrestle not against flesh and blood. And so we know that we're not wrestling against flesh and blood, then this is a spiritual battle. Then it knows that you have to resist first. And once you resist it, it says, draw nigh to Yah, and he will draw nigh to you. It's like there's a moment. Once you submit yourself unto Yah, now you left out in the opening to prove yourself. He say, look, I want you to prove yourself now. I want to see, are you going to resist the enemy when he brings this temptation to you? When he brings something that you know you're not supposed to be doing to you. Anything that you're doing is not like Yah. We don't have to really name it. If it's something that's contrary to the word of Yah, then you need to resist it. And when you resist this and you keep resisting, the enemy is going to flee.
Then you draw nigh to Yah, and he's going to draw nigh unto you. But you first have to submit. And if you don't submit, then you can't be want the Most High to submit unto your will. You have to submit yourself unto him. When you submit yourself unto him, he may tell you not to even do something that you're trying to do. So we just have to be mindful that, this comes with humility. Just like say vanity and pride has no place in submitting unto the Most High, because you make it all about you when you operate in vanity and when you operate in pride. And so we did 1 and 2. So let's do verse 3 of 59.
Isaiah 59, verse 3. For your hands are defiled with blood, and your fingers with iniquity. Your lips have spoken lies. Your tongue has muttered perverseness. Okay, so this is what we're dealing with here. So we'll get into this later as we turn to Proverbs about the 6 things that Yah hate and 7 are an abomination unto him. But we're not reading that now, but this is kind of going over a lot of that. But as we get into this here, I wrote down perverseness when I talked about it's basically a disposition to cross or to vex someone or something, or in this particular case here, to actually cause something to vex someone too. And it's like it's uncompliant, crankiness, contrariness, pretty much a plain out difficult individual is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that's just straight out difficult. If they're perverse, they're just difficult. They're hard to get along with, and they're hard to deal with. And you shouldn't be hard to get along with or hard to deal with. The word says you should be easily to be entreated. And so if you're not easily being treated, then there's an issue. You ever ran into somebody that is like they're for the Most High? I ran into ministers like this, but they're hard to talk to. And the reason why, because they're full of pride and they don't want to reason with you at all. It's like once they say something, even if you show them the scriptures, they don't care what the scriptures say because they're caught on to their own agenda. And since they're trying to push their own agenda, they operate in perversion. They don't want to hear anything. They're very difficult to deal with. And individuals like that, they sow discord. It's like that. It's like everywhere they go, it's like some mess is going on. There's always something going on that's actually stirring something up constantly. And this is why we get into that scripture when we talk about in Proverbs, it's going to talk about, quickly, I guess we'll say sow discord to paraphrase it. But let's keep going on. We look at 4 here. Okay, Isaiah 59 and 4. None calls for justice, nor any pleas for the truth. They trust in vanity and speak lies. They conceive mischief and bring forth iniquity.
Okay, so this is the thing. So they trust in vanity and speak lies. And speaking lies, to talk about one of those things is a lying tongue. I mean, so the Most High don't like these things. Let's look at Proverbs, I think it's 6 and 16. Proverbs 6 and 16. Trying to get to the scripture that talk about the abominations that the Most High actually hate. Yeah, so let's start off at this. We're going to do 16 through 19.
Proverbs chapter 6, verse 16. These 6 things Yahuwah hates, yea, 7 are an abomination unto him. A proud look.
Oh, a proud look. A proud look. So this is what we're trying to get. Someone that operates pretty much as in vanity. And then a proud look also reminds me of a narcissist or something like that. You know what I mean? Like they remind me of somebody that operates in the ideal that is just all about them. You know what I mean? Like that, like it's all about me, I'm the stuff. Like that. And the Most High don't want you operating like that, operating where like you the end all be all. Like when they made you, they stopped, broke the mold, like that kind of stuff there is what a proud look is. Like that's not what the Most High wants. You operate like that. A proud look, he don't like that. And the world promotes proud looks. The social media and all this stuff that I mentioned, all these platforms, it promotes a proud look. What are they doing? They constantly taking these pictures. They constantly snapping pictures themselves. That's a proud look. Like it's all about me. Look, I got sauce. I got swag. I got flavor. There ain't nothing wrong with looking good. But when you operate like that and these other rules are attached to you, it begins to be a problem because it brings about vanity. It's a difference from wanting to look good and take care of yourself and keep yourself up and being vain. Being vain is the idea that nobody can test you type. You know what I mean? Like where it's like you the stuff, like it's all about you constantly, and it comes with a bad ruach. Those people that operate like that are rotten in the inside. Most of them, they operate like that. And they only hover people to them that's going to agree with what they're doing. That's it. They don't want to hear any opposition or any resistance or nothing. Lying tongue. You go to the next one.
Right. A lying tongue.
So a lying tongue, you know what that is.
And hands that shed innocent blood.
You know what that is.
A heart that devises wicked imagination.
And see that a heart that devises wicked imagination. we want to look at that and look at the idea of when you, and I know this is a lot, I'm not going to turn to a lot of more of these scriptures, but some of these scriptures, if we look in Proverbs, when it talks about, there's one that's sticking closer than a brother, talks about a threefold cord not easily broken and stuff of that nature, where one lie down and another is with him, then they can keep each other warm, but if one by himself, he can't. Well, when we look at all these things that the scripture tells us, the enemy mimics these things. They operate in unity. And the way that the enemy operates, he operates in unity, where the way he operates is he gets people together on one accord to come against you. Like say you go somewhere and you walk into a room and all of a sudden everybody get quiet and you walk in. Well, the enemy is against you. They came together already. Their imagination, their heart has already came together against you, like you the villain in their head, even though you haven't done that wrong. It's like people operate in a negative energy. It's like they pull against you. It's like when you actually come into a space and you're not welcome, you can realize that you're not welcome. You know they don't like you because it's an eeriness. It's like a bad vibe that's going in the atmosphere, and it's against you because you're the one that came in, especially if they know you and they know who you are and they know what you stand for and what you're about. And when you come in, they get quiet. Well, it's like they're looking to see what's next. They're trying to size you up. They're trying to see what's going on or what is it that they finna say next that's gonna be contrary to the way I wanna live my life. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna say something to rebuke me or whatever like that. That's why things get quiet when you walk around, because they're already on edge because they know that you're walking upright and they're not. That's where that comes in at. And so these imagined things, these things that they're imagining, or these things they're saying they are, like who they think they are. That's what I'm saying. Like they ain't nobody like they so righteous and all this stuff. And this is what we have going on with that right there. And then other things that people just conjure up all together in their mind too. It's other ways you do it also. That's just one example.
Feet that be swift in running to mischief.
Always ready to do something bad.
A false witness that speaks lies, and he that sows discord among brethren.
Okay, so he that sows discord among brethren. That's when I was waiting to get to that. And that's the same thing, sowing discord, starting mess. Like, when you see someone come along and it's like you don't like this individual, so you get somebody else to go along with you too that don't like them. So now you got a whole group coming around. That's that same group I was talking about. When you walk in, well, they got the group against you already. The discord is they done flip something. It's like you're doing something that the Most High wants you to do, but this individual don't like it. So when you come into the room where they are, or when you come into the space, or when you talk to other individuals that was once okay with you, and you say, okay, what done changed their mind about me now? Well, somebody done got to them, and they done told them something about you, and they say, hey, they did this, and that, and without them checking out the facts, they already done believed it. And they didn't look at this and see whether that this was so or not. They say, look, I'm gonna believe this. And if they already believe it, most of the time, if the individuals can quickly believe something about you, unless they're under some real strong enchantment, they already had doubts about you from the beginning. If they can just, like certain things, people shouldn't be able to tell you about an individual without you having some type of factual proof or something that you can say that makes this be true. But sowing discord is just a bunch of mess. Right. Like a busybody in other people's business, when a talebearer, they sow discord. You constantly run around telling other people's business. Right. These are the things that the Most High hate. He don't like mess starting. He don't like discord. He don't like you causing problems. That's right. Even if it's true, some things are not supposed to be, said. Like, what's your point? Are you finna get to the bottom of something? Like, are we having like a meeting or something like that to say, okay, we're gonna squash it, or you just being messy? So if you're just being messy, you sowing discord. You're sitting around talking about people, and they're not there to defend themselves. And then when they come around, that's what I'm saying. It flips right back in. Now you're quiet like that, because the whole idea is you have an issue with them anyway. Most of the time, if somebody can get discord sold about somebody and you sitting there dealing with it and you knew this person, y'all was okay, well, you already had some kind of feeling about that anyway from the beginning for you not to check it out. Or you wasn't wise enough to know that they didn't caught you slipping, because now you caught up into this web they got, believing something that's not even true about this person. And then when the facts get out, a whole friendship or relationship has been destroyed because you allowed someone to sow discord amongst you and somebody else. And some people just like that. Everywhere they go, mess is being started. It's like they're not able to operate without some type of mess stirred up. It's like they get a kick off of mess constantly. Right. But anyway, these were the things that the Most High hate. I just want to turn there because it's also iniquity. You know what I'm saying? It's also the Most High don't like it. You don't like anything that you're doing that causes him to actually not be uplifted. It's like if you're operating in something that doesn't glorify the Most High or doesn't esteem the Most High, it's actually a problem. It's going to separate you from the Most High. So we see here now, if you're a false witness that speak lies, or if you're sowing discord among the brethren, then the Most High detests these things. But we brush these things off like it ain't nothing. But it's like, even I have to be mindful, like telling somebody something about somebody else done, because it's like, if it's not fruitful at the time, it's not even necessary to even mention. You got to let that individual experience this person for themselves. Unless it's like,
Right.
you know, like somebody in your close knit, like somebody you know you really dealing with, and the Most High gave you charge over the individual. That's different. Okay, look, they doing this over there, and it's obviously sin. Yeah. But if it's just basic somebody done or something they did, that's gonna be a, you know, that's because some of these jokes and stuff that even we tell about people, some of it is slick throwing salt. A lot of it, you know what I mean, like that. Even if it's a joke, we have to be mindful that is not sowing discord. Like, is it gonna make somebody dislike this person? What I'm telling them, like that. Am I telling you something that's gonna make you not like them? And if I'm doing that, then that's sowing discord, because I need to let you experience this person like that, so you can see for yourself how this individual is. If not, then what's my point? What's my motive? It's like a lot of times the world has taught us to get so caught up to some of this stuff, keeps us separated from the Most High, and we be wondering what's wrong. It don't be no devil. It be us. It's like it's self-sabotage. It don't be the devil. It's like a lot of stuff that we just stop doing, then the Most High would actually not be separated from us. Simple things. And it'll get us back on track. And a lot of times we thinking the enemy, but his job has been done already. Once he planted the thought in that person's head that sowed the discord, and then you fell for the bait, well, it's done. It's you now. At this point, you just have to stop. You just have to stop letting the discord be sown. You have to just stop, entertaining individuals that's doing this on a regular basis. Like they tell you in Proverbs, being quick, I think it's Ecclesiastes, to run with a crowd to do evil. Like that. Like, you shouldn't be quick to run with crowds to do things that's not of the Most High. It's like, but we get caught up into so much stuff in this day and time with the void that we're trying to fill, right, to people looking for some social gathering instead of getting connected with the Most High. Like, the work can't be done for the fellowship. It's like the fellowship shouldn't override the work of the Most High. The fellowship should be the work of the Most High. But we're making the fellowship about us and not about the Most High. And so we're enjoying one another, but the work is not being done. And that's where the issue comes at. It's like, all these are the tricks of the enemy. These are the snares that he set out, mental snares. And it's like we so caught up into trying to fix ourselves till we're constantly on, I would say, on the defense instead of on the offense. It's like we're constantly trying to fight something off that has happened to us, fight a sickness off. We're constantly trying to fight off wickedness or some individual. We ain't got time. We're supposed to be out there destroying the kingdom of darkness. We're supposed to be out there helping people get set free. We're supposed to set the captives free. Those that are held captivity by the enemy, we're supposed to be able to get them, the chains broke up off. But we can't, because we're bound. We're too busy trying to fight stuff off our own self. And it's like we got to get to a point where we realize half of this stuff is not even, like, probably 80% of it is self-sabotage. Like, we give the devil so much power. He ain't even omnipresent. He has to use demons to get around to do his work. The Most High is everywhere. He's not. He's in one place at one time with a whole lot of workers. And that's what's going on. But it's just that people desire to do evil more than good. His work gets done because he operates in unity. And we operate in discord. Most of the time, before you know it, it's always some split up, whether it be through ministry, whether it be through a friendship or something. It doesn't be about anything. And now there's division. Well, the enemy, the imps and everything he got, when you do a research on what's going on without getting caught up, you'll realize that for the common cause, they come together. Even though they're evil, they come together to do the job. And it's so that the job can be done. We can't come together for the common cause because of pride, because of people are selfish. And individuals won't let go what they got going on. And so it's like we have to look at it, just like John's baptism and John's disciples and Yahushua Mashiach's disciples. He said, look, those that are not against us are for us. We can't worry about those that were over there with John doing their thing, and those that are over here, as long as the kingdom is being magnified and people being set free, let the work be done. We can't get caught up into what day people are celebrating the Shabbat on and what feast day they're doing. And at the end of the day, these demons don't care about that. That's what we need to realize. That's for our personal thing. This is what we're doing so that we can worship Yah. But the enemy is not concerned about what you're doing when the time comes, when it comes to what day is which. He's not operating on that. These spirits are attacking people on any given day. And at any time, they're coming against you, no matter which way you think you're going. You can say, okay, look, I pray to the east or whatever. They don't care about that. They're coming. The enemy, when he plant a thought in his head, he don't stop and say, look, let me see if he's praying to the east or to the west or what day he did in Shabbat. He's not doing that. And that's what we got to realize, that the work needs to be done. And I would say because of a lack of understanding and a lack of, I would say, the relationship with the Most High, people shy away from deliverance. Like this would get you delivered if you just at least look at Proverbs 6. That alone will help you get delivered and help you get set free. But no one is worried about that because of the idea to do that. Once again, you have to submit, like James said, you have to actually submit yourself unto Yah. In order to submit yourself unto Yah, you have to let your will go and let the will of Yah be done. Well, that means that you can't operate in pride and vanity and make it all about you. And saying, so in order to do that, you know what I'm saying, then the Most High start working and operating in your life, and you make it not about you and more about him. So saying that to say a lot, because a lot of times we just get caught up into the discord, the mess, and the gossip and stuff like that. That the Most High don't like. And sometimes it slips your mind because that's what the world does. But it's like in general, we have to look at justice, glorify the Most High. Some stuff, as much as you may want to say it, you have to not say it. Just refrain. And if someone is constantly bombarding you with crap like that, how can two walk together unless they agree? You have to call that there has to be a separation at some point. It can't be no excuses. Like you can't value a relationship over the ways of the Most High. When it gets to a point where the relationship gets into doing the will of Yah, where it causes you to be contrary, there has to be a separation. Because if you don't separate from them, they're going to separate you from the Most High. That's what's going to happen. A separation is coming no matter what. Either you're going to separate from the Most High, or you need to separate from them, one or the other. And this is what we have to look at. Pick up on verse 5.
Isaiah 59:5. They hatch cockatrice eggs and weave the spider's web. He that eats of their eggs dies, and that which is crushed breaks out into a viper. Their webs shall not become garments, neither shall they cover themselves with their works. Their works are works of iniquity, and the act of violence is in their hands.
Okay, so their works are works of iniquity, and the acts of violence is in their hand. And also touching on that, you know, looking back at that there, it makes me want rewind back a few verses back when they talk about the heart, you know, imagining evil things. You know, it made me think about in Proverbs, you know, I think Proverbs, what we had 26:2, it says, curse causes should not come. So basically to translate that, to paraphrase that, a curse without a cause. In Proverbs 26:2, curse without a cause should not come. So basically, if there's no reason for the curse, it cannot come. If you really want to understand that, just look at Balaam and look at Balak. When Balak wanted to get Balaam to curse the children of Israel in Numbers, he told me, said, you know, you let them know, you know, Yah has blessed and I cannot reverse it. He said, whom the Most High bless, I cannot curse. Whom the Most High curse, I cannot bless. He let him know. He kept on, Balaam kept on blessing. He said, I got you to curse him and altogether you have blessed me. He said, I can't do no more or no less than what the Most High said do, because of the stand that the children of Israel was in that time. They was under the umbrella of the Most High, operating in righteousness. Now, when they got from under the umbrella of the Most High, curses came upon them. You know what I'm saying? Deuteronomy talks about curses that will come upon you. So we know curses will come, but there's a cause for the curse. It said, if you do all these things, then all these curses are going to come upon you. If you don't, then all these blessings will come upon you. So basically, that was a thing to be blessed in Deuteronomy, and then that was a list to be cursed. So either way it go, if you put yourself in position, you'll be cursed. But if you're not in position, you won't be cursed. So a curse without a cause will not come. So if there's no reason to be cursed, then you won't be cursed. So no one can, you know, like all this, the witchcraft and the sorcery and all this stuff, it doesn't work against anybody that's in the will of the Most High. When you're in the will of the Most High. Now, don't get me wrong, things do happen. And things do happen to actually perfect you. But at the same time, there has to be some crack for the enemy to get in to actually allow these things to, I would say, to prosper. Put it like that. Now, weapons will come, but in order for them to prosper, in order for them to just overtake you. And so this we have to look at. So when you look at it like that way, no one won't be confused about, okay, well, this happened to me, that happened to me, but are you still here? Can you talk to me right now? And if you're talking to me and you're still here, then it not overtake you. You're still able to prevail and still able to continue on with your life. So it don't mean you won't go through anything, but it means it won't, won't prevail against you and won't cause you to totally be off course, but you still have to fight. This we got to realize, like, this isn't some magical situation where the Most High and some genie involved, where just because something happened to you, you prayed and all of a sudden he just fixed it. Like, submit yourself unto Yah. Then the process says, resist the enemy and he will flee. That's a process of you struggling and resisting. Then it says, draw nigh to Yah, and he will draw nigh to you. So in this process of resisting, this is the time that whatever spell, witchcraft, vex, or whatever happened to you is getting up off of you. And so when you come to Yah, it's not going to be there like that. So at that particular point in time, you know, you're under the shadow of him. So just realize that there's a fight that goes with these things. It doesn't mean that they're going to prosper and come against you.
7.
Yeah,
59 and 7. Their feet run to evil, and they make haste to shed innocent blood. Their thoughts are thoughts of iniquity. Wasting and destruction are in their paths. The way of peace they know not, and there is no judgment in their goings. They have made them crooked paths. Whosoever goes therein shall not know peace. Therefore is judgment far from us, neither does justice overtake us. We wait for light, but behold obscurity, for the brightness, but we walk in darkness.
So it's the thing. So there's no judgment. And as you read a lot of this, you'll realize no one was seeking any judgment, any righteous living in this particular chapter here. And this is what the Most High is saying. Like, you have to have a heart for righteousness. You have to want judgment. You have to want to walk in light and not darkness. You can't seek to be contrary and seek to want to walk in darkness. Like, it's almost like oxymoron in the way some of this stuff, when you hear a lot of how things happen, how I've even thought of some days, like, you want help from the Most High, but then nothing has happened to get the help. It's like, okay, you want the help from him, but then what are you doing to get this help? Like, what are you doing to get the Most High to actually turn? He said that it's the iniquity in the beginning of 59. When we read Isaiah 59, chapter 1 talks about it's our iniquity that makes him hide his face from us. It's the thing that we're doing. So we have to realize we operate right, then the Most High will be righteous toward us. He's not going to withhold no good thing from those that walk upright. And these scriptures are not going to be made alive because one don't want to grab hold to it. Like, you have to realize that it takes a sacrifice. You have to give up something to get something. In order for us to have salvation, Yahushua Mashiach had to leave here according to the flesh. And without no sacrifice, then there is no help. It has to always be a sacrifice. And the reason why it's a greater sacrifice because of the way most of us were raised over here. While I was raised not being together the way we were back then when we were back at home and not in bondage over here in Babylon, where it was a lot easier because we weren't introduced to so many ways of the heathen. But since you're introduced to so many ways of the heathen, we get caught up into the system. Our children are being raised by the system and they get raised by the peers that's in the system. They impute these things into them. And so they operate, they're a product of the environment that they're in, a product of their friends is what they are. And so their friends are doing these things at home, introducing it to your children. And this is how they come out because you're going on. You left them to the wolves. That's the thing. And so since you left them to the wolves, this is what you get. Underage pregnancy, a disease, all kinds of stuff is happening. A drug addict, all these things are produced by leaving them out to the wolves so you could go out and make a dollar. And it's being forced that you got to do it because now the system, we know we don't want to get into all this. We know about all this stuff, how it's set up. When you look up a lot of this stuff, it'll blow your mind. The way that they operate to get the fathers out the home, make the mothers single, so they got to go get it. There's no choice. And some of them that don't have to still do it because both people are career driven. So to the point where now the world makes you think if you don't become something for them, like you can become a healer, a doctor, anything in the kingdom, but you got to do it under their umbrella to get paid a certain amount, to live a certain status. They put this lifestyle in front of you. And so you're chasing this lifestyle, this dream. And the more you trace this dream, the more your children are being left to the wolves. And by the time they grow up, you got them, but it's like their mind frame is not the same as it would have been as you would have been with them and nurtured them more. And so this is what you got. You got the money and everything. You got the career. You got the doctor behind your name. Whatever it is you was trying to reach, whatever status they gave you, you got that. But they went lacking. It takes a sacrifice. And you ain't losing anything. I'd rather them come out to be great than me have all that stuff. That's the thing. So it's like at the end of the day, you rather them not go and shoot up a mall or something. I mean, like that. This is what we got going on while you chasing a dream or a career because you left them to chance. That's what you've done. You've actually allowed them to, you have to put your trust in the system. And so since you've done that, now you have to deal with the outcome. This is the product. It's not their fault, it's your fault. It's like sacrifices have to be made. Whatever it takes, sometimes people have to go back home, do what they got to do whatever position you got to get in to make them not be raised by the system is what has to happen. Other than that, then that's what it is. This is the product you get. You say, well, I ain't know they ain't with you get the call. Your child ain't been to school in a week. Like for real, a week. They've been sending false letters and stuff, fake doctor letters. And now all of a sudden they've been running with a gang. She gone with a boy, he gone with a girl, vice versa. It's something going on that you wouldn't want them to do, but you had to go to work. That's the thing. You had to go do what you had to do. And so since you did that, you didn't bring forth the sacrifice. Sometimes sacrifices require you to let go of pride. It causes shame sometimes, because sometimes you have to be in a living condition that you don't want to be in just so that your children can be in a better position later, so you don't have to chase that dream. Chasing that dream sometimes puts them in a position to go lacking. But anyway, so basically I was saying all that to just talk about how hard it is to resist operating in pride and iniquity and everything based upon this popcorn microwave society that we're in, where everybody wanted right now. You want to quit. And so since you want it like that, then you wind up getting dealt a bad hand on something has to go lacking when you accomplish these things that they're presenting to you to be a dream, which is really a nightmare. So picked up that okay, so we're gonna pick up from let's go to Acts chapter 19. So we're talking about not wanting to walk in darkness at the end of that verse 9 of Isaiah 59. At the end of verse 9, we trying to get into the idea of wanting to walk into the light, seek to walk into the light and not seek to walk in darkness. So we're going to go to Acts 19. To paraphrase this a little bit, we're dealing with the 7 sons of Sceva. We're dealing with all the curious arts and all the witchcraft books that they bought in to burn that had a great silver value. And the Most High didn't show up on the scene with the Ruach, in their lives until they let go of this curious arts, this iniquity, once again, sin. They let go of all this stuff here, then the Most High begin to show up. But he's not going to show up while you're trying to hold on to any enchantments, or any type of lucky rabbit foots, or anything you want to call it. Anything you got going on that's not the Most High, that's if you're using anything outside of prayer to get some type of result spiritually, it's witchcraft. That's the best way to make it plain. Anything. I don't care if it's a lucky nickel, salt, whatever it is, you're using anything that's outside the Most High, a charm or anything. If this pen, I say, oh, this is my lucky pen, I got this one. This witchcraft, because I just turned into it. That's the simple version of it. But then we have enchantments that have literal ruachs attached to them that people have also. And so we'll look at Acts chapter 19. We're almost about to wrap it up. Acts chapter 19, starting at the 13th verse.
Acts 19 and 13. Then certain of the vagabond Yehudim exorcists took upon them to call over them which had evil ruach, the name of Adonai Yahusha, saying, we adjure you by Yahusha, whom Paul preaches. And there were 7 sons of one Sceva, a Yehudi, and chief of the priests, which did so. And the evil ruach answered and said, Yahusha I know, and Paul I know, but who are you? And the man in whom the evil ruach was leaped on them and overcame them and prevailed against them, so that they fled out of their house naked and wounded. And this was known to all the Yahudim and Greeks also dwelling at Ephesus. And fear fell upon them all. And the name of Adonai Yahusha was magnified. Pause it there.
Okay, now stopping there for a minute just to show you that I put some notes down that was just saying, about faking. Like, talk about people playing, saying you playing church, you playing like you casting out devils, playing prophesying, whatever you playing, at the end of the day, the enemy is not playing. That's the thing. This is not a game to him at all. Like that, that's the thing. Like a lot of times we be thinking, oh, this and that. When they say it's not a game, it's not no game to him at all. It's an actual strategy to him. Like, and it goes back to my old saying, like, while you playing checkers, basically, he's playing chess and he's strategizing against you. And the more you're playing around, the more it's causing issues and causing problems. So most of the time, in a lot of the playing, we see this example, but a lot of the playing, there don't even be no major resistance, because in this hour and time we're in now versus 2,000 some years ago, then he wants you to be caught up into a fairy tale. He wants you to be deceived, making you, because when it really starts happening, you won't have the power. But when the pressure really hits and everything really get heavy, and you start seeing some demonic manifestation based upon all this stuff, we're not even going to get into it, but we don't know what they're going to be producing, what they're doing, and what's going on, what's causing people to snap, and all this stuff that's going on. medicine they got, whatever you may see manifesting somebody, at that time when it's really needed, the one that's been playing won't be able to help them. And that's what the enemy knows. So it's like at this particular point in time, Paul and them was on the scene. They ain't here now. And I haven't seen too many people around here like Paul and them. I just seen a bunch of people saying stuff, but I haven't witnessed any of this stuff, personally, directly straight out. And so this is what we got going on. They're playing, and so he had to let them know, look, we identified. And he said, Paul, I know. Yahushua, I know, but who are you? Because he knew the Mashiach, he knew Paul, the demon. He said, but I don't know who you are. That's the thing. And they let them know they weren't respecting you. They don't see the seal of Yah upon you. You're not stamped. You're playing a game. And it's like what you're doing is you're perpetrating the fraud. And then you got exposed. That's the thing. And so, and you can't operate like that. You have to really be set up where it knows who you are. Hell needs to know your name through prayer and through worship, through just getting closer to the Most High. You don't have to make it like super deep. Just get a basic relationship with the Most High and let them know that he's the shepherd and